Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Good morning and Hari Om to all the seekers and devotees all over the world. Greetings from Arunachala. Today, we are going to take a question from one Mr. Ramji. He is working as Vice President, Supply Chain in Cognizant, and he is residing in Dallas, US. His question: Hari Om Swamiji, my question is, how does one do work and not reap the benefits? While in the Gita it says, while doing the action, always say, you are doing it for the Lord. How does one do it in real life? Everything I do I take the name of Krishna, Shiva, Narayana and do? Please clarify. This is his question. Dear Sri Ramji, question similar to yours regarding performing action as indicated in Bhagavad Gita would be in so many people's mind. Thank you for asking for the benefit of all. It's indeed a very good question. People more often than not get perplexed when they hear karmanyeva adhikarastu na paleshu kadhachana. That is, karmanyeva adhikaraste na paleshu kadhachana. You have right only for action, not to the fruits thereof. Hearing this, ordinary person in the world gets demotivated. How is to work in the world without wanting the fruits of one's action? They argue, what do you mean? We have to work day and night for a company or an organization and should not expect any salary or any benefits or what? This is ridiculous. Yes, if Bhagavan Sri Krishna would have meant this way, really it sounds ridiculous only. We should try to understand actually what Sri Krishna meant by such a statement and why he said so. Most of the time, we read scriptures, especially Upanishads and Gita, in a superficial way. And we don't try to understand the deeper imports of Bhagavan's statement. Therefore, such questions come in our mind. What is the actual meaning? When we perform any action, we have to be in the present and give our 100% to be able to achieve the desired result. Is it not? Suppose if you are performing an action and always worried about the results which is going to come in the future and are always agitated in mind, thinking about it, would we be able to give our 100% while doing the action? Please tell me. If you are performing an action and always worried about the results which is going to come in the future and are always agitated in mind thinking about it, would we be able to give our 100% while doing that action? The answer is no. Moreover, even though we perform our actions to the best of our abilities, there are so many other factors which are not under our control, which decides the outcome of our action. Is that not so? There are so many factors which are not under our control, which actually decides the outcome of our action. For example, if the captain of the Indian cricket team, say Virat Kohli, is always worried about what will happen at the end of the day, whether will we win or would we lose, if his mind is always preoccupied with such thoughts about the outcome, if he is constantly agitated and under stress to somehow win and prove his mettle, will he be able to give his best? Certainly no. Also, the outcome depends on so many factors such as the weather, the pitch, the opposition's team strength, and the attitude of different players in his own team on that given day, which is not in his hands. So, if you are his mentor and guide, what would you say? You would say, Beta, don't worry too much about the results. Just give your best and forget about everything else. You can only concentrate on what is under your control. That which is not under your control, you cannot help much. Do the best and leave the rest. Will you not say this? Exactly the same thing Lord Sri Krishna told Sri Arjuna when he was in the battlefield. He said, just give your best in fighting this battle against adharma. Do not too much worry about the outcome of your effort, because you have control or right only over your actions, not to the results thereof. Is that not common sense? Please think. But mind being the mind will not keep quiet. Will always be worried about the results, because our image and prestige also is associated with the outcome. This we must understand. Since we do all our actions with the notion that I am the doer, naturally, when the results come, it affects our image badly. Please remember this. Since we do all our actions with the notion that I am the doer, naturally, when the results come, it affects our image badly. If the outcome is success, I am a successful, smart person. If outcome is failure, I am a failure. I am a flop. This is our thinking. Therefore, I cannot fail. This attitude that I am the enjoyer drives the mind mad, keeping it always worried about the results, always agitated about the outcome of the action, even though it is not in our control. So Krishna says, O Dhananjaya, please remember, as the Lord of the universe, I am the real doer. You are just an instrument. I will repeat. Lord said, O Dhananjaya, please remember, as the Lord of the universe, I am the real doer. You are just an instrument. Whatever good or bad, the victory or defeat, which comes as a result of this battle which you are fighting, will not affect you or your image in any way, because I am the actual doer. The good or bad, victory or defeat, the mana apamana comes to me and me alone. Therefore, fight the battle with the attitude of surrender that you are just an instrument, and offer the results unto me, because it actually belongs to me, since I am the real doer. This way, karma will not affect you. Is this not a wonderful philosophy? Think. While performing any action, we, out of correct understanding and humility thereof, should realize we are just an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Lord. And then we should perform all our actions. When the results come, we must accept it, but then offer it, saying, Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Meaning, all this belong to Him and Him alone, because He is the real doer. It is not that we should not enjoy the fruits. Of course, we can enjoy the fruits, but as His prasada, as a gift from the Lord. This is Karma Yoga. Please understand. Therefore, it is not just saying Rama, Krishna, Narayana while doing any action. If you can remember the Lord throughout, it is wonderful. But it is actually changing our attitude while doing our actions. This change in attitude that I am not the doer but just an instrument, and I am not the enjoyer, as all results actually belongs to the Lord, because He is actual doer. This brings lots of peace and balance in the mind. It purifies the mind. Not only the actions are performed efficiently, also it will not leave any scar. Technically called as vasanas in our minds. In Vedanta Shastra, it is said, these vasanas are the real root cause of our sorrows. Because more the vasanas, more the desires. More the desires, more the agitation. More the agitation, more will be the push to perform desire-prompted actions. Then that will lead to more vasanas, and this is a vicious circle. So therefore, changing our attitude that I am not the doer and I am not the enjoyer, I am just an instrument, and whatever comes, everything is offered as Sri Krishnarpanamastu. This reduces the vasanas, and this leads us to actual freedom, liberation. So, changing of attitude is real Karma Yoga. Have you got the point, Sri Ramji? Okay. Now, we shall move on to the second question. This question is from one Mrs. Jayashree. She is a seeker residing at Adayar, Chennai. Her question. My question is, why many sincere seekers who are also involved in serving the society face a lot of resistance and misunderstandings within the family and feel exhausted, helpless to overcome this situation? There is so much of unwanted drain of energy in this, which could be used for higher cause. It's perfect we understand prarabdha karma, but how to overcome this with practical advice, as all love their family and wish to resolve this? This is also a very, very important question. Dear Jayashree, your question is very relevant. As mostly in a family, if one is spiritually inclined and fired with a zeal to serve selflessly, the other may not be inclined the same way and therefore may not understand the value of it or appreciate. In that case, it becomes really difficult. It is very rare both the husband and wife are together involved in spiritual journey and selfless service. Sometimes I have seen some people in the name of social work or spiritual pursuit neglect household duties and do not give sufficient time for near and dear ones. That is not correct. If this happens, then naturally the members of the family would feel deprived and may not appreciate the selfless work, however noble it may be. We should always remember charity begins at home. We should never neglect our duties towards our family and towards our near and dear ones. This is rule number 1. Even after fulfilling the duties and giving sufficient attention, still if the people around us are not satisfied, one cannot help. We should try to make our near and dear ones understand that everybody has got their own passions to pursue, and the other person should understand and give space as long as we are not going in the path of dharma. Though it is husband and wife, still everybody has got their own mind, their own vasanas, meaning inclinations. Therefore, we should learn to give space to the other person. This way, the relationship would be smooth and healthy. In spite of our efforts in explaining, if people are not convinced, there will be always friction, which we should be ready to face, holding on to the feet of the Lord. I tell you, it is very hard. If your spouse or if your children are constantly in conflict with your style of functioning, with your ways, then it is very, very hard. We should be very clear in our minds that I am the seeker first, and the goal of my life is to pursue the higher. This we must be very clear in our minds. Other things are secondary and can take its own course. We should quietly but firmly follow our path. We should not fight or quarrel with our near and dear ones. We should try to explain. If they refuse to understand, we should not compromise. Because we know what we are trying to do is the right thing. We should quietly but firmly follow our path. I repeat, we should quietly but firmly follow our path. For that, we need clarity and conviction. This clarity comes only through satsanga. Only we surrender at the feet of a master. Only when there is clarity and conviction, we can quietly but firmly follow our path without fighting or quarreling with our near and dear ones. We should pray to the Lord only for that. Do you understand? Thank you so much. Om Tat Sat. Krishnarpanamastu.